Okay, I think that I have my go. Hello everybody, hope you're doing okay and welcome to Frensham. Now I managed to find a Ford, which can only mean one thing, can't it? I've got some weatherised shoes to test. This is the Nike Air Zoom Pegasus 39 Shield. Basically the shield version of the standard Pegasus 39. So I'm going to do a bit of waterproof testing. Now this Ford is quite deep, I think it's a good 6 inches, so I think it's going to be a bit too much for these shoes, but we'll see how much we can actually get through. Don't forget, a shield version isn't meant to be fully waterproof, it's just meant to be sort of more splash proof. But I thought I'd give the extreme test, and I've also got the regular Pegasus 39, so I don't want to do a little comparison with them. I won't obviously do any waterproof testing in the standard Pegasus 39, I'll get my feet wet straight away. Okay, this Ford does have a little bridge by the side of it, which would obviously take if we were being sensible, wouldn't we? But we'll see how far into this we can get. Okay, let's put our feet in this. It looks quite deep. I mean, it was a good 6 inches, I think. I don't think with these shoes I want to get them above the line of the laces there. Being perfectly dry so far. Okay, see if I can walk down this little bit of concrete here over the little bit of water and over to the side. Now I want to be careful getting my shoes above the waterline. I think I'm going to instantly find that it's maybe a bit too deep. Let's walk quickly through, see how we get on. Yeah, wasn't too bad. Can't feel any water through them yet. Let's just stand in the water a bit. Well, I can feel a little bit of water coming through now, but that really is a bit of an extreme test. Okay, the tiptoe test, not getting my shoes completely submerged, it looks pretty good. I can just feel a slight bit of dampness in my socks, but nothing too bad. Okay, if we have a closer look at the shoes, we've got the standard Pegasus 39 on the left in the pure platinum colourway, and we've got the shield version here on the right, obviously in the fully black colourway. Big difference is based in the upper. The standard one has the engineered mesh upper, and the shield version obviously has this more plasticky. It's not GORE-TEX, but it's kind of reinforced all the way round, encompassing the whole shoe. You also got this interesting little sort of like spongy bit on the side there. Not quite sure what that's all about, but as I do get my feet very wet, this is also very wet, but I guess it sort of helps a bit with the waterproofing on that side there, maybe a bit of splash proofing. The tongues are quite different. There's like more of a neoprene tongue in the shield version and more of a sort of a spongy one in the standard version. I would say that the actual shoes are basically feeling that very similar. I would say that the standard one fits slightly narrower in terms of the fact that the flywire here, you can sort of get that locked down a bit better. This one I'm having to push them in more. If I got the two on my feet here, you can see I've got the laces much more closer together on the shield version than I have on the standard one, although both of these shoes are probably a bit wide for my extremely narrow feet. You can see I've got a bit of folding there on the uppers in the shield version, whereas the standard one isn't so bad. Flipping them over, the big difference is we actually got different outsoles. The shield version has got a storm tread upper here, and the standard one has got more of this sort of standard waffly one. If you saw my video last week, when the waffle one sort of won, I think, on terms of what was the best shoe for wet roads. I'm certainly not having any problems at all with the storm tread one or this one. I'm not sure that one wins over the other one. Sort of on a slide test I just did then, both of them feel quite good. I'd say perhaps the storm tread one is maybe slightly better if it's really wet, but there's not much in it. I think both of these outsoles are pretty good. I mean, often people say that Nike outsoles are terrible. Well, I'm not having any problems at all with these two for sure. Otherwise, at the rear here we've got sort of like the standard sort of slightly cut away Achilles, which is quite nice. As I said, the actual ride of them is pretty similar. Both have got the ability to do the double knot if you want that. I never really bothered, to be honest. The laces on these two shoes are certainly long enough, although having to pull my laces in quite a lot. You can see that it's well past double knot status, and I have to sort of do double knot and then tie them back in there. Here you can see, look, I've got all this sort of flapping around stuff, so not really ideal. I think I'll have to cut those back. Right, should we see if I can actually run through? I think that's what we're expecting, isn't it? Okay, I did manage to get a bit wet there, but obviously don't forget these shoes aren't completely waterproof. My shorts are now quite wet and my socks do feel slightly wet, but you want to feel like if you had to do that, then you could carry on running and it won't be too bad. I'll now take them off and give you a glimpse of the shoe and see how wet they are. I weighed the socks before at 36 grams a pair, so let's see what they are now. Let's just weigh these socks now. They were 36 grams before, they're now 114, so they have got rather wet. The actual shoe itself was about 370 before, and it's now got to 485, so it's rather wet. And try the other one. That one looks even whiter. Okay, so in summary, I think if you want a weatherised shoe for the winter, then the Pegasus 39 Shield is a very good option. It feels very similar ride to the standard Pegasus. Maybe it's just slightly heavier by about 10 grams, not much in it. And I've been using it during the week on more sort of traditional sort of wet road runs when you haven't been like trying to go through a ford here. And it's been absolutely great. I haven't got my feet wet at all. But obviously, if you are going to take it to these extreme tests and get your feet completely submerged, then, well, you're going to get wet. And I also got my shorts wet as well. So just acid warning that these shoes aren't completely waterproof. But in terms of like splash proof, going through puddles and that, I think they're really good. I would say in terms of the ride, both have very similar feelings, despite the fact that different outsoles. Both have got the React foam and an airbag at the front and at the rear as well. I think by modern day standards, you classify it as a sort of reasonably firm ride, although maybe if you wore these shoes 5 years ago, they'd feel quite soft. I think these days people often say, well, a shoe is great because it's very soft. Well, that's not necessarily what I want, especially on a road run with just sort of like getting the miles in. So I hope you enjoyed this little look at the Pegasus 39 Shield. Is this a shoe that you're thinking of getting? Do you have the standard Pegasus 39? What do you think of these weatherised shoes? I've also got the Pegasus Trail 4 GORE-TEX with me. Maybe I'll do a separate video comparing the two. I think the only thing I find that the Pegasus Trail GORE-TEX is just marginally softer, but maybe I'm just imagining that. When I did a little run up the road, there wasn't much in it. And that one has a slightly more sort of waffly outsole, so maybe give you a bit more protection for on the actual trails, we're in these more sort of slick treads for the road. But I had done a little bit of off-road in the Shield version and it wasn't too bad. Certainly feel you could stay upright, as it were. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this little look at the Pegasus 39 Shield. Like and subscribe on that, and see you next one then. Bye.